Eshemamba, helicopter crasher ewo adanse akufum. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama edi notice aba Montezo ejese. Omo astatia omo ebeye investigation afa sansem die ema sansem ni si eni sebi se obi etachia odisa anyamra semna omo astate eye ho investigation yentie ensem ni bi.
The recent Z9 helicopter crash has officially commenced its work. Now, the announcement was made in a press release dated August 25. That's today. We'll put portions of that on the screen right now. Here's what we do know. That this was under the hand of the acting Defense Minister, Dr. Kasiel Atufor-Singh, indicating that this board, chaired by the National Security Coordinator, with membership drawn from the Ghana Air Force and the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Prevention Bureau of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, and the United States of America is also providing advice and assistance to the board through visiting investigators from the U.S. Air Force. The board may also invite other relevant experts and institutions, both local and international, to assist with the investigation. It will also be recalled that on the day of the incident, that's the 6th of August, a preliminary investigation team was constituted to gather all available evidence relating to the crash in support of the board's work. The preliminary investigation team is scheduled to submit its report to the board today. So, all things being equal, it would not be wrong to believe that by this time, this preliminary investigation team have submitted their report already to the board. The investigation board has been mandated to complete their work within 30 days from today. 30 days from today, they're supposed to complete their work. That's according to this statement from Dr. Kasiel Atufor-Singh, the acting minister in charge of defense and the substantive finance minister of the Republic of Ghana. And this 30-day period, which has been stated in this press statement, is what has also generated some conversation. I recall earlier I spoke to Professor Kwesi Ejokum. He is a former Air Force pilot, the Ghana Air Force pilot. He is now an associate professor of aeronautics and an aircraft accident specialist. He had indicated that all things being equal, it would take about a year, 1 year, to, if he was also to be involved in any investigation of a sort, to have a full investigation completed about this crash. Let's recall that interview I had with him on Key Point. Take a look.
They will look at, like I stated earlier, the physiological and psychological state of the crew. They will look at Ghana Air Force, our standards, our levels of compliance, and just make sure that they've assembled all this data, because we have organizational influence. We'll look at levels of supervision, preconditions for the flight. If there were some unsafe things, we call it unsafe actions. So things related to training, equipment, was it appropriate for the flight? And then, of course, we'll zone in on the operators themselves. What was the state of mind? And that normally comes by looking at things like fatigue. And so the amount of data that has to be collected by accident investigators, which will be handed over to what we call a board of inquiry. And they will look at all the data, and based on that, the findings will determine the causal and contributory factors. I cannot make a prediction as to whether it will be done in 30 days or in 2 weeks or maybe in 4 months. It's a process that is ongoing, but hopefully, since we are tied almost to an extent, I am, in my opinion, envisaging that within a year's time, we should be able to almost zone in on most probable causal and contributory factors.
Within a year, all things being equal?
All things being equal, crossing my hand, hopefully we should be able to get this wrapped up. I know everybody, we want answers now and now and now, but unfortunately, investigators, I get it, the emotions, the anxiety, But one characteristic of every good investigator is that we try to filter out the noise, and then we look at the body of evidence, the corpus of evidence.
That's Professor Kwesi Ejekom. Is a former Ghana Air Force pilot, an aircraft accident specialist, and associate professor of aeronautics there. We'll continue this conversation. In fact, tomorrow we'll marry his position in this 30-day period that has been given to this board. What exactly is their mandate and the terms of reference? We'll get a bit more into it.
Now, Ghana is set to receive $100 million investment to expand farmer financing. The announcement made by Japanese agri-tech company Degas Limited during the Ghana Presidential Investment Forum in Accra is aimed at building Africa's first AI-powered agriculture hub. Speaking at the forum, Degas CEO Doga Magikura indicated that the investment will transform smallholder farming and expand Ghana's role as a continental leader in AI-driven agriculture. There's more in the following report.
The 4-year commitment will scale up AI-driven satellite monitoring, precision agriculture, and farmer financing. Agriculture employs about 40% of Ghana's workforce, with nearly 70% of these being smallholder farmers who work on plots averaging just 2 to 5 hectares. Many of these farmers face low yields and limited access to financing. CEO and founder of Degas, Doga Magikura, speaking at the forum, indicated Ghana is proving how these technologies can boost productivity and reduce risk for farmers. President Mahama, who is currently in Tokyo for the Tokyo International Conference on African Development, welcomed the investment, calling it a vote of confidence in Ghana's agricultural transformation agenda. The AI-powered agricultural hub model is projected to expand farmer financing, strengthen satellite-enabled crop monitoring, and deepen partnerships across input supply, logistics, and processing to build resilient value chains.
Secretary General of the Climate Vulnerable Forum and former President of the Maldives, His Excellency Mohamed Nasheed, has called for urgent global action to ease the debt burden crippling climate vulnerable nations. Here's more in this report.
At a media engagement of the Climate Vulnerable Forum, Secretary General and former President of the Maldives, His Excellency Mohamed Nasheed, called for an urgent global action to ease the $746 billion debt burden facing climate vulnerable nations. He warned that without systemic debt solutions, these countries will not be able to invest in resilience and development.
In our debt repayment, we have to, between this year and in the next 5 years, pay out $746 billion to creditor countries.